Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining me in this analysis. I am Bitcoin Gorilla, and this is an update to my last analysis on YFI. Remember, I talked about YFI pumping, but as of today, YFI price went as low as 17,800 or seven, let's say 17,900 zone. The question now is YFI still safe to be in a position right now? Should you sell or should you hang in there? This is what I'll be updating you. In fact, we will be drawing this chart together. So we'll be making this whole prediction together. Remember, if you've not subscribed, do subscribe, because what I do now is make sure I update all my analysis all the time according to the market. Why? Because this is crypto and crypto is very volatile. And at the same time, every day is a new money entering and leaving this market. So this is the reason why predictions change. I can make a prediction today, and tomorrow morning, as a result of the amount of money that enters and leave the money, can entirely change my prediction or anybody else's prediction. This is what is known as volatility. The rate at which money enters and leaves the market is so fast that it can sometimes become a bad thing, but it can also be a good thing. That is when the market is pumping. Everybody is a winner. Remember, if you've not subscribed, do subscribe. I remain Bitcoin Gorilla. So I'm going to go straight and start drawing the chart. The first thing, if you've been following my analysis, is I first start by looking for all the support and resistance levels. These are the most important levels on my chart. So you see, that's the most important one I'm seeing right there. I can tell you there's one again here, another one clearly, rejection right there. I can tell you there's another one right here, and I can still get one clearly, the best support that we've ever gotten, and the only thing that saved YFI from crashing further from 8K, right? So I can tell you there's a little support around here. It's a dramatic support, and that's the one we just broke, right? There's a very big dramatic support right there. So now let's actually go deeper, right? We're doing this together, so you don't have to worry. I don't think it's time to FOMO yet. It is not time to FOMO. So please let your mind be calm. Remember, my last analysis, I said 2022. We're not yet in 2022. We're going to get a bounce. So just hang in there. But the thing is this, the first major thing I want us to talk about before I go further to keep explaining this chart is the fact that you have to start considering Bitcoin in all your trade. If you are trading altcoin, remember, no matter what you do, Bitcoin remains the king. And there are moves that Bitcoin makes, Bitcoin takes everybody down with it. And if it goes on, sometimes Bitcoin will pump and not altcoin will pump. And sometimes when Bitcoin goes down, all the time I see altcoin goes down. The reason is when money really start leaving Bitcoin, a lot of people become scared in altcoin and they start pulling sharply. So when Bitcoin start dumping, you see people react in altcoin because they feel that very soon altcoin will follow. And most times they don't lie, because within few hours or few minutes that Bitcoin seriously starts dumping, all altcoins start dumping, and majority of the time they end up crashing more further than Bitcoin. That does not mean they don't have potential. What happens is this: Bitcoin is the king. The amount of money that entered Bitcoin is so much that no altcoin right now can beat Bitcoin to it. Right? Even though YFI pumped to 95K, the money in YFI can still beat the money in Bitcoin. This is the reason why when money start leaving Bitcoin, the traders on altcoin, especially traders, not long time holders, I'm talking about traders start pulling out. Majority of traders start pulling out. This in return forces FOMO, and this FOMO makes more people to sell. And the more sell, remember, selling is a supply. Remember, selling is supply and buying is demand. Just the same way that when you see the price start going up, everybody wants to rush in and buy. It's the same thing that when price start going down, everybody wants to rush out. So it's that rush out that force that fall. So most times in altcoin, why then do altcoin crash or dump more than Bitcoin? Now, the first thing I'm trying to get here is my area. Now, why altcoin dump further than Bitcoin is because the money in altcoin is not as big as Bitcoin. So even though a lot of people pull out of Bitcoin, the money still in Bitcoin and is still quite huge to hold Bitcoin from falling so far compared to altcoin. When you pull money from altcoin, because they are cheap, they easily dump. So if I put 10 million and I pull out the 10 million, it's going to affect that altcoin. Or 10 billion. If Elon Musk entered Doge with millions or billions of dollars and then pulls out, it's definitely going to affect Dogecoin, because the rest of those who are holding Dogecoin probably don't have that such money or portfolio. So one person or two persons or just few market makers can always move altcoin faster than they move Bitcoin, because Bitcoin will require more money to move it fast than altcoin will require. So altcoin really dump, especially altcoins that don't have big market cap. Example is YFI. YFI is just 32,000 YFI. Is just 32,000 YFI, right? So the thing is this: as good as it has advantage of having this little small market cap, because once there's a surge in demand, price can skyrocket to unlimited amount or price range, right? But on the other hand, when there is too much supply, price can easily crash, because there's no much people that it's just few people that really own the coin. So if those big people start selling, the price can go down easily, and compared to a coin that has a huge market cap. So here's the thing: now market cap really don't determine price. What really determine price move is supply and demand. I repeat, market cap don't really determine price. What really determine price is supply and demand, but it does have disadvantage and advantage on price entirely. So this is our support area. This is the weekly what? This is the weekly box. Remember, each time I do my analysis, the drawing changes. It's not going to be the same the last time, especially when I have to redraw or what I'm redrawing on. But majority of the time, it is supposed to correspond to make sure that I am still following the pattern. If there is a change, I'm going to let you know. This is the box of the entire drama that has happened since the return. Now, if you look closely, if I zoom in, you see that YFI has successfully come back and tested this button. You can see one, and this is two, right? It has come back and it has retested that point. This is a very interesting move, because as far as I'm concerned, it entered the area. I remember the last analysis I said there is a support around 26k, right? Now on a bigger time frame, there is area. Remember, I always tell you guys that my support and resistance is treated as an area, and as long as price is within that area, I am confident. And you can see what happened. Look at each time it entered the area, how they pull up, right? You can see the tail. You can see the tail and the wicks they form each time they enter this area. You can see the wicks. Exactly the same wick is right now happening, right? So they are still within my support area. So for YFI, I am still not really getting moved at all, because I still believe it's still playing according to plan. What I just saw is stop loss hunt. I call it a spring, right? What is stop loss hunt? All those people who bought here and here and here, market maker just used them and cleared all their stop loss. So remember, if you are buying here, your stop loss will be here. So what just happened is a stop loss on clearing all to return to this point, right? So now YFI should not cross this point. If YFI should cross this point, for me, I am going to exit the trade and wait and see what happens next. That is what I see. That is based on my strategy, and I like obeying the warning when I see it. For me right now, it is still playing according to plan, so I have no reason to FOMO. In fact, I am buying more YFI on this support. For me, I am buying that YFI. I'm buying more YFI, but I don't think it's a good idea if you don't know how to pyramid. So make sure you know how to pyramid before you go ahead to buy more YFI, right? So let's go back. So right here, I can tell you I want to go further because I want to see what is happening. So I'm going to contain in a box what is happening here. That is the consolidation that they broke below, right? So the consolidation started right here. So you can see what happened right here. You can see here and here, right? Okay, let's turn this to blue. So we let's lighten this first one so that we can it can be easier to separate the two. So now, just like I said, I want to look for the inner box of this, right? Of this consolidation that went up here. I want to look for the resistance and support because consolidation have this up and down. So this is it. This is the resistance and support of that consolidation that is going on right there. And I can tell you this, the support is right here. So what just happened is, now the last time I called about buying of Wi-Fi, I actually talked about it that is going to come. The box I was predicting was this box. Now, if them breaking below this box right here, then they are in the bigger box. So what does happen is that they entered the bigger box. That's what they did. So for me, Wi-Fi is still in a good range. It is still within a good point. So I did see that there is a double bottom right here. There's a double bottom. So let me zoom in so that you see it. And we know how double bottom works. It just retested the breakout because this is where the breakout, this is the double bottom, right? So you can see the double bottom is quite very clear right here. So that is the two double bottom. Now I expect price to hold above this point, right? So price, we even if price come back, because price is going to come back a retest, just have it at the back of your mind. We're going to have this retest, but instead of, let's go to daily chart. Let me show you something. No, let's take it to 4 hours. We are going to have, you can see right now we're having a higher low. So we're going to have this retest come back right here. We could see price, we could see price coming right back to this point to retest this point. That is if they are going to return. They could return maybe, oh, this is a week, right? We could be entering next week and we could have a push down or something. But if they are going to go down, I don't expect them to break below this point. So I expect them to hang around this point. It's because right now stop loss can be around here for now. Anything that goes below 18 below 16k should be a threat to anybody in YFI, right? So for now, I see that we still have, this is just the beginning of the month, right? So I do see a little reaction of this price pulling back up, and we are going to see this 44k again. I do see it coming, but you're going to need patience. Trading has to do with patience. Now let's go to 4 hours so that I'm going to show you something. Now look at this. If you notice that, you will see that price, so you can see that price broke, price is trying to return to this support area. Remember the blue, let me show you something. So I don't want you to FOMO yet. I don't want you to FOMO yet. The prediction on YFI, I do see YFI really moving back up in 2022. A lot of dump is coming. So let me tell you something to prepare your mind. The crypto market is little kind of going to struggle in 2022, right? The reason is that, remember the dominance I told you that Bitcoin exert on other coins. And right now, Bitcoin is printing a little change in direction, probably for a while, right? So Bitcoin is on this retest on the monthly chart. And this retest could take it as down as 30k or so. Now, the thing is, this is it's going to carry altcoin with it. But I do see Bitcoin before going to that move. Bitcoin is going to get a bounce before that move. And this bounce will enable a lot of altcoin that has really been in consolidation that could not move even while Bitcoin moved in the past. Example of those altcoins is YFI. You can see that Why Bitcoin was able to successfully recover from the pump of 60K dump, the first 60K dump, and made it to almost 70K. YFI has not recovered from its own. It made it here and it got stuck in the previous resistance. Now, one thing you must know about trading is take note of when you see sideways. For me, when I see sideways, I always get excited, right? It's a sign that something is likely coming. It's a sign that there will be a breakout. Now it can either break to the upside or it can break to the downside. Whichever ways it breaks to, you might not really get it right until it happens. This is why the market is always right. But it's good to contain it in a box. That's why I always do that. And you can see we failed on that breakout right around what 45K, right? And you can see the result is the bottom of the box and they even pierced through it. They even pierce through it. The worst that can happen to us is we returning to this 8K, which I don't see really happening. I do see a bounce, at least this 45K first. Of which, if you entered around here, that I said earlier, around is still a move, right? But my main target is this 95K, and I don't want to be, I don't want to be trying to say that how do I put this? I'm trying to get the right word. I don't want to tell you that right now the return of YFI to 95K is invalid. That is not true. It is going to likely see this zone, at least 77K is going to see that zone again. It's going to see this zone. YFI is going to get there, but it's going to take a while. That is why I made that prediction and I say 2022. So you have to be patient. One thing about crypto is buying it at the support area, we take a lot of patience for it to even leave that support, and we are trying to buy support. Right now it has left the smaller box support. We are on the bigger box support, which is even a stronger support than the smaller support. So I think YFI still has potentials, and I don't think you should be FOMOing right now because of the dump we just see, because we just see YFI recover from that 18,000 move down to what 24K area. Now here's the thing is that 24K area is back to the same support. You can see it's this blue. So what we want YFI now is to keep us within this blue area. If they can keep printing within this blue area, before we know it, they will get back above 30K. So I do see a pull up coming, so hang in there. But make sure you know that this is just for entertainment purpose and not a financial advice. Do your diligence research. I am only sharing my opinion. What you do with it, it's up to you. Thank you. And I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. If you've not subscribed, just mind you, I always come to make an update, and every analysis is drawn from scratch without no indicator. If you really want me to teach you all this, you can join Makaveli Traders. It is a decentralized crypto traders. We trade futures, we trade options, we trade futures, spot, staking. Like, let me tell you something, you're going to train with me live if you join Makaveli Traders. Mind you, this is Bitcoin Gorilla. Happy trading.